So, Farron, we spoke. A lot of things went down this week. In addition, of course, to the big story of the Republicans finally revealing their knockoff of Obamacare, and I do mean knockoff. They basically copied the structure of the bill, but just made it worse. And I don't know if that's going to fly with anybody, and that very well may have been the point. But the other big thing to drop from the Trump administration was a new travel ban, and this is an updated, new, sort of less filling travel ban, if you will, by the Trump administration. It is, of course, aimed at Muslims. It is based on an assertion that this is about national security. B, without any evidence that this type of proposal would enhance national security. C, was so needed and urgent as a fix for national security that they waited a couple of days to roll it out because they thought there would be ongoing praise of Donald Trump from his speech from last week, which of course fell apart. And so because of all the Jeff Sessions stuff at the end of last week, and that seems like, I don't know, like a year ago. But let's talk a little bit about this travel ban. It maintains a 90-day ban on travelers from now only 6 countries, but it did remove, like I say, Iraq. This was a request by Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, who thought it would hamper coordination to defeat the Islamic State. This is according to administration officials. Would have been nice for them to talk to their Secretary of Defense before they issued something like this, wouldn't it?
Well, that's one of the things that in Trump's first month in office that kept coming up was the fact that he wasn't consulting with anyone from any agency for any of his executive orders. You had Bannon and Stephen Miller who were essentially helping draft these things, putting it in front of the president and just getting a signature. But this, second Muslim ban, it really only differs in about 2 meaningful ways. One, as you pointed out, it takes Iraq off the list. And it says if you have a green card to come into the United States, we're not going to ban you, at least not for now. Beyond that, there is not very much difference. You're still running into the same legal questions, legal challenges that we had with the first one. The ACLU is already working on appealing this thing, filing cases against it. And it's going to end up, it's going to have the same exact fate because there is no constitutional reasoning for this to happen. And there is no supportive evidence to show that anyone from these countries are dangerous or are a threat to anyone in the United States. I mean, even the Cato Institute back in September, the libertarian think tank, put out a study showing that these countries and several other in particular had never produced a single person that came to the United States and killed a single human being.
And I will add, though, there was one element that was dropped that I think is going to help them legally to a certain extent, and that is it dropped the language. You'll recall that this language said we're going to offer preferential treatment to persecuted religious minorities. Now, these are all Muslim-majority countries. So it's basically saying we're going to give preferential treatment to folks like the Yazidis or Christians. And that obviously highly problematic, now dropped from the bill. But you're right, there's no evidence whatsoever that this enhances security. None. And this is part of, well, it's a two-sided coin. It is part of the Trump administration attempting to get the American public afraid of Muslims. Period. End of story. They know, they can see the data. Last week spoke to Mark Potok on this program, and he said that immediately after 9/11, there was a huge spike in anti-Muslim hate crimes. Then when President Bush muted that, that talk, it dropped by half and stayed there, static, for about 8 years until the Republican Islamophobes started talking about a supposed ground zero mosque, and then the hate crime shot up again. These travel bans function as much, I would say more so than our security, to create the sense that Muslims are not to be trusted. This is just setting up we hear people talk about concern for a new Cold War. This is the Cold War that is being set up that the Trump administration hopes becomes a hot war. And that is, we need to lay the predicate that Muslims are dangerous to us as a country. And that's what this is all about. It is basically saying, to protect your safety, your health and safety, we need to keep Muslims out of this country.
Well, and you know this as well. It also plays right into the hands of groups like ISIS and ISIL, because they then turn around to people in their countries and they say, look at this. Look what the Americans think of you. Look what they want to do to you. They do not even want you in their country. This is an American point of view because of your religion. It threatens our security in that manner by bolstering their ranks when they're able to go and tell their would-be supporters, Americans hate you simply because of your religion.
It's fascinating. And we should also say, while we're at this, and maybe this was more of a deflection at the, midweek, but Donald Trump also, in addition to sort of like ginning up this notion that we've got to be afraid of Muslims, and maybe this will do it, is Donald Trump falsely attributed to Barack Obama releasing Guantanamo detainees who went back to the battlefield. It was actually George Bush who released nearly 122 of the detainees. Obama released only 9 of them. This is according to intelligence reports, which, of course, Donald Trump doesn't read.